Good morning, Dr. Kia Keating, and thank you so much for your time today.
Good morning.
Yeah, can you please introduce yourself and some of your responsibilities as the Director of Counseling?
Sure. So I'm Dr. Miriam Kia Keating, and I'm the Director of Counseling here. I oversee the counseling department, which really focuses on an integration of health and wellness. So we're really interested in supporting students' mental health, but really looking at mental health through the lens of an integrative, holistic approach, understanding that your health and well-being is, physical and mental health are integrally related with one another. And so we really try to help support students around their social emotional learning, character development. We support restorative communication and restorative practices at the school community. We meet individually with students, but we also meet with students at grade level or even division level. We provide programming to parents. We support teachers. So we kind of do it all throughout the school, knowing that really it's about a healthy, happy community is going to be the best source of support for everybody at their individual level.
How do you approach creating a safe and welcoming environment for students to discuss their mental health concerns?
I think that the most important thing is to really be tuned in and supportive to students around their own agency and empowerment. And so really providing students with the opportunity to seek support and to feel like there's a place that they can go where they can get the kind of support that they need. School is an amazing place for that because they don't have to go somewhere else. We're right here for students at all times during their school day. And we try to, be part of school-wide programming so that people become familiar with the counseling team and know us through multiple different ways in classrooms or in social events, so that they feel like there's a familiar face out there, there's somebody friendly and kind. And then when they come here, there's an opportunity to get to know us at a deeper level and also recognize that they get support, they get confidential support, a place where they can open up and have the opportunity to seek out resources, express what might be going on, and for us to work together in partnership to find solutions. And then sometimes if they have larger needs, to help them to connect with an outside therapist or a resource or provider that might be beneficial to them outside of school as well. So we really want to just be somebody that students can feel like they can turn to whenever they need to.
Yeah, so do you think there are sometimes a lack of those resources and support in certain schools or other places, and what are the obstacles to having that kind of safe environment?
Yeah, well, we know that from the national picture that there's much more mental health need than there is being served. So most kids and even adults who are experiencing mental health issues are not likely to get formal services through a psychologist in the community. And so that's why I love the school environment, because students are here at school, all students within a certain age group, right? So kindergarten through 12th grade are going to school every day. And so that helps remove one of the biggest barriers to getting any kind of support, learning about mental health. So if we integrate it into the curriculum, everybody is getting some support. Even maybe it doesn't have to be at an individual level. It can be at a group level. It can be in a classroom. It can be at a grade level. So, and it can also come through peers. So we have a peer counseling program, and that can remove another barrier. So if somebody doesn't want to talk to an adult, they can talk to a peer. Our peer counselors also go throughout the school so that they have peer pals and they connect with younger students on an individual basis. And so anything that they learn and the connections that they're making around mental health, that's going to impact their whole network, right? So the work that they do formally as a peer counselor, but also it changes the way that you interact in your own relationships in your own life. Maybe it even improves your family relationships. So there's a way in which you can take an approach that is impacting more people and reducing all these barriers that keep people from getting the help that they need.
Are there any specific challenges like unique to students in this school environment that you're observing?
I think any competitive private school environment has students who are interested in pushing themselves to their highest potential, and we're here to support students to reach their highest potential. So that's wonderful. Where it can get in the way is when people are going too far with it and are going beyond what's reasonable for their health and mental health. That's something that I think is a national issue and maybe even an international global issue, is in this time period with, for a variety of reasons, most likely, mental health has become a crisis and is something that many, many people are struggling with. And so I think we see that at this school just like we would see anywhere else.
Yeah, so do you have any advice for individuals who may be who are also like high achievers but also want to balance their overall well-being?
Yeah, I think that it's really critical to prioritize your well-being and to recognize the importance of prioritizing your well-being, because any high achiever is making a priority list. So if we can help encourage and educate high achievers, and everybody really, but high achievers, to recognize, oh, this is important because it's going to be a lifelong piece of my health and well-being and really longevity. The more you understand about the way that taking care of your mental health and your well-being is actually related to your overall life satisfaction, your mortality, your likelihood to have chronic illness, to maintain relationships in your life. Once you have that bigger picture and you step back and look at your life in the long version and not just the right now, am I going to pass this test version of it, I think it motivates you to realize, oh, I need to prioritize this. And once you make that decision and it's on your priority list, then I think high achievers would probably be pretty great at accomplishing the task because they're already really good at accomplishing tasks.
Yeah, so in today's society, how do you think technology and especially like social media affects like teenagers' mental health?
Yeah. I mean, I think it affects everybody. It's not just teenagers. And I think there's a lot of controversy about teenagers because, people are wondering, should we take away all digital devices? Should we shut down social media? So social media is definitely here to stay. So is there a way that we can work with it? Is there a way that we can recognize the benefits as well as the dangers and then find a happy medium in there? I think for teens, and for adults, but especially teens and kids, because we're helping them as adults to develop, and we have to recognize that there are important developmental windows and that that young people can be influenced in certain ways, and that we do need to protect them and help make the right decision for their health and well-being and their healthy development. And so the problem with social media and what we have online is that it has been designed to be addictive. It has been designed to pull you in and keep you there. And so that's working. And so it's kind of like saying, I'm going to hand you a bunch of sugary snacks, and then I'm going to tell you, control yourself. And you're a kid, right? Are you going to be able to control yourself, or should I have just not handed you all those sugary snacks, right? So if I don't put it in front of you, maybe it's on me instead of asking you to figure out a way to stop yourself from eating as many, pieces of candy as you can. And I think right now we're grappling with that, where people want to give teenagers, for example, like the chance to monitor their own ration of social media, but it's incredibly difficult because it is addictive, and it's even hard for the adults in their lives. And so I think something adults need to pay attention to as well is just how much they're on their phones. They're caught up with, scrolling, and then they're role modeling, right? But again, it's kind of like asking you to go on a diet, but I keep baking an amazing chocolate cake and handing it to you, right? Like that's hard to do at the individual level. So I think we need to think about it from the bigger societal level, and then also think about how families can help, and then think about individuals themselves.
How do you incorporate like mindfulness and like positive psychology techniques into your counseling sessions?
Yeah. I love mindfulness and positive psychology. I always want to make sure that, dependent on what students, where they're at, what they're facing, and also what appeals to them, that all those things matter as well in terms of what you might offer to somebody. But I do strongly believe in the benefits of mindfulness as not just a practice, but really a worldview and a way of approaching life. It can be very, very beneficial. And then as a practice, meditation, the more research that we do on meditation, we're seeing these incredible benefits from the physiological level to just how you feel on the outside and your mental health. So I know that there can be a benefit for most people in many circumstances. It's not a quick fix for anything, but it's more like I see it as more of a exercise for your mind, so that you're really prepared for the difficult times that will come, that are inevitable for all of us to face challenges. And so the more tools you have, the better you'll get through those hard times, because we're all going to face hard times from here and there. Positive psychology is, again, there's some really easy practices that you can engage in on a regular basis, and I think that they've shown to have long-term benefits, short-term and long-term benefits. And so I love to, again, hand those out as sort of reminders of things that you can do that are pretty easy, that you can add to your routine to make, to really build that muscle of seeing the world in that shift to helping you really face things in a different way. So for example, one practice is just around gratitude, and it's like a daily practice of just writing down 3 good things that happened to you in that past day. And that appreciation is just sort of a mindset shift, right? Because if you wake up going, oh gosh, like I can't believe I have to go to school today, I don't want to go, I have these tests, I hate this, I hate that, this person was mean, it's going to bring you down. And all those things might be somewhat true. It's not taking away the validity of, like, every day is not perfect and you're not going to skip and high five everybody around you. But at the same time, if you go, hey, let me just pay attention for a moment to some of the areas that I have in my life that I can find gratitude for those. And you pay attention for that moment and you start coming up with a few. And then you're like, oh, so this isn't that hard. I can come up with even a few more. And it can start with like, it's, the sky is blue today. The sun is out. I can get up out of bed. I'm not sick. I'm healthy. My feet are walking for me. My hands pick things up for me. Like, I'm grateful for my body working the way it needs to. And I'm grateful for food this morning, or whatever it is. It can be very, very simple things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be some dramatic big event that happened, but it just shifts your mindset, and it shifts how you view the world, and it just becomes easier and easier to do. And that can be so beneficial to just keeping our hope and our optimism up, especially when things are challenging.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome.
And for your valuable insights today.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Anytime.